This is an arc analysis.
This is an
Is
arc
an arc
analysis.
analysis. This is arc analysis. We have to turn off the video. It's
It's a good thing that the video is not set to record. I only record the audio. We can just see each other.
Well, people don't want to see the tower that you got behind you.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, if the video is being recorded, I would clean it up a little bit. But
You just put a towel over it.
It's got clothes. You don't want to see the rest.
You'd be doing advertisements for that. You'd be getting sponsored.
Is it?
Jeez.
Look at that.
I didn't even think it was that big. It's pretty big, buddy.
That's what she said.
And that's the end of this episode. See you guys next week.
Okay. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Do you really not know?
No, I did. I just didn't have I had the wrong tab up. I'll just cut that out. Captain Canuck, Aleph.
You will not cut out anything. I've listened to myself stammer all over this podcast. You'd be like, oh, no, I left it in. It's good.
Those aren't including the ones I have cut out.
Yeah, you just listen to big stammering. So it's good. Yeah, well, you're tired.
Yeah. Published by Chapter House Comics, written by Kalman Andrasovsky, and drawn by Kalman and Leonard Kirk. Here's an interesting thing. This does come with a backup story as well. That is written by Ed Brisson. If you recognize that, he does a lot of Wolverine stuff, and drawn by Marcus too. So these are long because there's the main story then a backup, right? And what'd you say before we started?
The B story is what you're talking about.
Yeah, the B story.
Yeah, okay. I like those. Those are good.
Yeah, Ed Brisson wrote that. That's he was.
Okay. Now I'm caught up to where you're talking.
What Wolverine for Dynamics?
Those are fun.
Yeah.
All of his stuff is like fun.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's
punchy,
right to the point. Yeah,
and a little bit of action is like the hero's not really a full hero. He's kind of a little goofy, mess up a little, but fast paced, quick, and then on to the next.
He's dimension hopping in that backup.
The main story.
Okay, the main story is complicated.
Needlessly.
It's complicated because it's not bad. It's just not great. I don't know. It's the way it was too long. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of setup.
Yeah.
Which would have been better if I didn't know what was happening and like you just threw me into the action and I'd be like, okay, like I'm in now.
Yeah, but they start from a point of they start right at the beginning. There's no.
But did you read the Zero issue? Because I appreciated that issue.
No, I didn't. So
that at least gives you kind of context.
What was that about?
It just gives you background of how Captain Canuck became Captain Canuck. Just a little brief, like this is what I touched. The alien gave me this super shield power, and I roll with this team. And then it's just character bios of all the characters that you expect to see. I was like, this is a good way to like jump into action.
Yeah.
But then we jump into more exposition and just like this is this guy and this guy's over here doing this thing and then we got to go over to this guy. And
so they wrote an exposition Zero issue just to lead into issue 1, which is more exposition.
Yeah, that's the weird. It's like you could have just given me Zero issue and then went straight into action.
Yeah, get right to it. Good way to sell the Zero issue because it goes I don't know. It goes from that liquid gold possessed zombies thing was
Mr. Gold.
Yeah, that was weird. Like I said, it goes from liquid gold possessed zombies to industrial takeovers to threats of an alien invasion, and this all happens in 5 issues?
Yeah,
so it's a lot going on.
And his bio's not bad too, right? They say Mr. Gold, brilliant but utterly immoral. George Frederick Goldman is perceived as the world's perceived by the world as an eccentric jet setter, affable playboy. His PR department does excellent work. He's rapidly built a global empire that's obsessed with making contact with the other side, using his considerable resources to fund dangerous and forbidden experiments in non-existential physics. Ferocious and ambitious, he possesses a terrifying ability to bend others to his will. That's more than enough to tell me what he's about, and then just show me that he has gold shit going on. as
Yeah.
opposed to like explaining, here's the creatures that I'm trying to get, and I need to do this. It's like,
Yeah, the gold stuff I could have done without. I don't know. The gold stuff was just.
it wasn't
I
needed,
feel
but
like I feel like we were missing something there. Like,
he's the arch nemesis. Like
yeah,
they stress that in Zero Issue that like for as much as you're supposed to love Captain Canuck, he's got a adversary on the opposite side of the spectrum. Where I feel like we didn't really need to see Mr. Gold until like the fourth issue.
yeah, because he's just out of it at that point, right?
He's
Like
only in like the first three to just do exposition with what's the hand guy or is it
this
Michael
isn't
Evans?
this really isn't a big cohesive story. It's more like a couple stories kind of pushed together with like tiny fabrics that connect them. If I would say so, like it is one story, but it jumps around. It could be, could have
Do
been
you,
two parts.
do you feel that was on purpose because this is the launching of the title again? So like they're
Yeah,
trying to get you like
yeah,
this is the Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Moriarty. So
yeah,
we know he's not going to catch the big bad, but we got to see the big bad.
yeah. And that's what I think. They're just kind of cramming in whenever they can to, because it's not like I said, it's not bad.
Story.
It's not bad. It's just it's a little bit too. I don't want to say wordy because that makes me sound like I'm stupid, but it's like there's a little too much, like you said, a little too much exposition, not enough punchy. Whereas the backup is the opposite.
And like condensed, right? Like you want us to care about these characters.
Yeah,
There's this whole brother sideline thing that like I started to care about, but that's after you got rid of all this extra.
yeah,
Like it's a tale of two halves. One half is, I guess, Alpha Flight, or they're not really Alpha Flight. It's like this
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like his Canadian government team just going off to different missions, and the other side's basically like the money because it's just rich billionaires talking ish about what I can control and how I what I use my power for, and kind of this is the world we live in, follow the tech kind of stuff. It's like I only need like 4 pages of this, and that could have been good.
yeah. Because I didn't really care about Tom Evans really. I did. He was
Yeah.
kind of like this powerhouse guy. Like I was like, I liked Quebec better. The sniper, she was way more interesting, and they gave her some time to shine.
She was great, and she got like a whole flashback issue, which
Yep.
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And even Redcoat has some
Redcoat
like
was dope.
some one-liners, and like when he's making jokes about horse, and they're like,
Yeah.
"What? Like what? That's his code name?" He's like, "No, no, no. I can't remember what his actual code name is, but it's like the troops think that horse is cooler to be called
Yeah.
as opposed to what
Yeah.
his actual code name is." So like, there's an attempt to like lean into humor, but we don't get it until the end.
Yeah, it's the like and Parminder Patel, she was cool. It's like the his team was more interesting than he was. Even though like I
Yes,
kind of got where he was coming from, but it was kind of I'm like I want to see more of them, less of
he's
him.
he's so vanilla, but like
Yeah.
that's always been Guardian. If
Yeah.
this is still Guardian, right? Like now he's
No, it's not.
new.
This is different. This isn't Marvel, right? This is a completely different thing. This is
Oh, okay,
Chapter
fair.
House. This isn't Marvel.
Because I'm
This
reading,
is
I'm like Guardian. I just keep seeing Guardian, and he's kind of got
yeah.
the same sort of powerhouse. And then like me with Alpha Flight, it's different, but
You know, we
like
should
the
I'm surprised we didn't AXP these two.
oh, probably we could have compared them,
We
but
could, yeah.
they're both like the exact same Superman.
Yeah.
So they would just be punching each other the same and blocking the same.
Yeah.
So it's weird. He's the most vanilla superhero I've ever read.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. He's not that interesting, but the story was kind of interesting. His team was. I liked his team, like you were saying.
As soon as they got to none of
If
it,
yeah, I was
fighting.
gonna say, if do you think this would be confusing if you weren't Canadian? Because they don't. They jump around a lot.
I'd hate it for Quebec's issue because like it's like half in French, and it's like and then she
Yeah,
says tabernacle, and then I laughed. I was like, all right,
yeah. Because like you said, their HQs and none of it. But like we're in
why?
Alberta, Ontario, Saskatchewan, so it's like it's all over the place, right?
But that's like the shine. Like he only kind of reps Canada, so you have to kind of give credit to these different places.
Yeah.
I think there's a better way to do it, and I think there's a better territory to set up shop than none of it.
Seems well. They did that because of the Aleph, right? You find out at the end they did that because that's where
It's
the
true,
Aleph,
but
which
we
that
got
was
we
the
got.
best part.
I agree. We got Yellowknife right there
Yeah, but that's where the alien crashed. Was
because
in none of it.
the alien can't crash in Yellowknife in
Oh,
Yukon. Sorry,
you're talking from the
you,
writer's point of view. Yeah, okay, fair
yeah,
enough.
Yukon territories. I just like it
Yeah,
because it's on the border of Alaska, so inevitably you could have this whole hey, what are these guys doing over here? And then have the
We
U.S.
stand on guard. Yeah.
It,
Ho ho.
um, but yeah, it does jump around. But I think that's because they love Canada, and
That's what I
he
mean. So that
he's a.
was cool for us, but
Anyone else reading it?
that's what I'm saying. If like you're an American reading, be like, "Where's this? Where's?" I mean, they do that in the American comic books. I'm like, I don't know where this is, but
We're coming
cool
off
with
like
it.
Marvel movies where they like the Avengers spend 8 hours jumping from space,
To
Germany,
Latveria.
New York, Wakanda. So like, I don't think it's as jarring as like having a protagonist who's not as interesting as everything else going on around you.
Yeah, yeah. Like we keep going. I keep going back to the alien EMP thing was cool. The Gold Monster Man wasn't.
I didn't mind him. I liked the Gold Monster Man, like the lead up to it, because like all the other zombies had like bleeding faces and gold and stuff.
Right.
Like I would have
Yeah.
preferred that to be a reveal later on.
Yeah.
But like I like how I think it's Quebec throws the silencer at his head,
Yeah.
and it goes straight through his eye because she's looking for a weakness, and then he
Yeah.
reveals like a tiny boy in beside, like in inside of him,
Yeah.
who got his eyes pierced, and she's like, "Oh fuck!" Right? Like so,
Yeah.
there's interesting stuff about that character.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I
He,
thought it was kind of. I just thought it was weird because it was so
he's definitely
like
weird. They have
gold.
like 6 side bosses in here that like,
Yeah. That's there's too much, man. And I don't know. I'd read a Quebec book. She was cool. When she infiltrated the Aleph solo, so I thought that was dope. I
you know,
was like, I'm into this. I'm like, where was this the past like 4 issues? Like, I'm into this. This is it's funny because this book is like we just said it kind of reads long, but I don't really have much to say about it.
yeah, like I want to talk more about like the B storylines, which were
Yeah,
fun, and
yeah,
I
go
like.
yeah, talk about that. Talk about that.
Well, like he does 3 like world jumpings. The first one he's kind of on a like an oil rig essentially, and he's fighting aqua monsters that kind of look
Yeah, the fish guys. Yeah,
Kalukan ish. So I saw that and started doing the pause. I was like, yeah. And again, it's just a little 2-parter, but gives you kind of a sense of this is a guy that's down for whatever the cause that's going on in Canada. Like he shows up in a little dinghy,
yeah,
can't
that's
get
right.
close enough, and he starts swimming. I was like, all right, like he's such a Boy Scout. I think the next one is the alien tech one.
I think so. Yeah, because there was the fish one was first, and then the lizard people or the frog people was the last one, right?
Okay, so that's the last one, and then like you get more of his humor because he's trying to communicate with these like lizard people, and like he's a little more of a doofus in that. So, but it
Yeah,
works for him because he doesn't
yeah,
really know everything that's going on. And then the middle one, he's fighting. Where are they? It's called Armed and Dangerous. So there's Cement, Hammer, and what's the lady's name?
I like how they just did not care about like creative names. It was like let's just call them after tools.
Yeah, she does a clap thing. She does a Sonic thing, right?
Yeah,
But they call each other the Sonic Squad, and again, they're like low tier. It's like the Wrecking Crew
yeah,
kind of thing. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
he's just got to battle that real quick without the cops ruining it. So much more engaging, so much more fun, less exposition. I didn't need to know a lot except for he's the good guy, they're the bad guy,
yeah. And he's trying to get home, I guess.
and then they have the one little reference of he's trying to see the Canadian arm, which was what they use on the space station,
Hmm.
and they're trying to steal that. So like a little bit of Canadiana. So like the book's kind of propaganda for Canada and Canada things,
Yeah,
but not in a not an overt way, right? Like this is a hero that has a maple leaf on his mask. So
yeah. It looks just like Guardian. It's
it does though.
yeah, we gotta do something about that. I'll have to do something about that. But
He could have just changed color scheme. You didn't have to be red and white. He could have just been
red and
you.
black.
See how many of the national Canadian hockey team jerseys could he just like? All right, I'm just gonna put a side leaf on it or like a gold
Yeah,
strip. Like
you're rooting for. I don't know. I found myself like, come on, I want you to be good. Come on, let's go. So that's why I went at the ending when like Quebec was doing her infiltration
yeah,
and they revealed the alien. I was like, oh, and he gets his powers from the alien, but they have to kill it because more are coming. And I was
yeah,
like,
it's
this is
good.
kind of cool.
Yes,
This is dope. Like I was like, man, this is. I see why this is the last issue because I could have used this in like issue 2 or 3, and when you know what I mean, just
that's what I'm saying. Like it kind of picks up issue 3 when he has to go up to like none of it and he falls
yeah,
down the like. There's a polar bear he has to fight and, like that comes
that's
back
right. Yeah,
around, right? Like he has to go save his brother who's being like used as kind of like like a battery for all aliens, right? There's that whole kind of back and forth brotherly, like, okay, don't do anything else. I'm going to take over. Constantly, his shields are failing, so you get this like little like bar meter saying like it's running low. Like there's stuff that I was starting to enjoy, but after you gave me all this extra shit, that I was like, I don't know if
And
I need this.
didn't he start the fight at like 46%?
Yes.
I'm like, that's not a good idea.
No, but that's an amazing way to start a comic.
Yeah,
Of like all I have is my shield, and then
yeah,
eventually he's just like bare bones. This is a dude that doesn't like wearing his mask either. Like constantly, he just had no visor on and
yeah,
just
yeah.
running
His
around.
visor's off.
Um,
But that was a strange. I was like, man, 46%. You're just starting this big man. It's like 13%, 8%. I was like, this guy's living on the edge.
that's something that you can enjoy, right?
Yeah, because
But
there's a
this
little. It's right. There's a little bit of Captain America. There's a little bit of Iron Man. There's a little bit of Guardian
a little bit
and
of
Alpha
Captain,
Flight.
a little bit of Captain
A little
Britain,
bit of Captain. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
charges in.
He's a mixture of all that. It's and
Black
he's
Blackbird was the dude. Sorry about
oh there we go. And he's ours.
that. That's how you're gonna stress it. Oh no. Oh no.
And he's ours.
Well, you'll take Quebec. I'll take Red Coat, and then
Yeah, all right,
we
sounds
we
good.
we both get horse.
So we rank these on a boom, a good or bad. Boom for good, bah for bad, or a whoosh for some not
It
the
wasn't
most
a whoosh
great.
though. It actually seemed like they knew what they were doing. It's just they
I was gonna give it a whoosh.
give it a whoosh.
I was gonna give it a whoosh,
I
but it's
can't
like a whoosh leaning into a boom.
a whoosh boom. You started sonic boom.
We're not mixing. I'm just saying because I liked the ending. I liked what was there, but it just took too long to get there. I
That's the
can't. Would you
thing.
like? Would you recommend this?
We're both on the same wavelength. If I could recommend it from issue 3 and
Yeah.
just the side character, like the B storylines, this is something that you'll grow to love because I would want to know what's happening next. Because issue 5 leads into what's the next kind of process and the next kind of big bag, and I was like, like I kind of like this, but no, I had to endure 2 first chapters that were more confusing. Nice to look at.
That's not a bad call. Like, could you start at issue 3?
Yeah, you really
I'm
could.
trying to think back now. Like, you wouldn't miss much, right?
No, and every
You missed
comic
the
book
board meeting stuff and like the origin of the gold person. But
not
but
needed because
yeah,
Gold shows back up. You get his big bad. You don't really need any of the Michael Evans stuff. Like I think he's gonna turn out to be like one of the big bads down the line. Like that seems like the full setup. And in comic book history, or like the way that they make comics, every issue gives you the blurb of what happened in the previous issue to catch you up.
mhm.
So if I could recommend from issue 3, that's an easy boom.
That's a boom there. Yeah, but the
Because
whole thing.
no, it's a bah. Yeah, I don't think it's a whoosh because I think they knew what they were doing. They just
Mm.
tried to cram in too much. Where if you imagine this was a 8 issue,
Oof. Oof. I'm gonna be biased because I'm because it's it's
Canadian.
not like a Marvel DC thing, and it's like hardcore Canadian. Like I'm like I want it to be good, so I don't really want to doo doo all over it. But man,
And you speak French,
yeah.
so you
About
understood
that.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah, I did. They did. That's funny. The French. You're right. The French were there was parts where they were speaking French and there was no
subtitles, or anything.
codex or translation
No,
for it. It was just French. You
straight
don't know
Quebec.
French? Oh well.
So
That's
like,
very
I
very Quebec.
laughed. Yeah, I laughed. I was like, "There's some things I push," but I was like, "I bet this White Coke recommended it because at a certain point, it's just Quebec's book, who would easily be a easier read and a easier
Yeah,
boom."
she was cool. I liked her a lot. And her name was spelled Kebek.
Yes, gay back. How you would say?
Quebec. Would it be Quebec?
There's even the fun little blurb where he's rescuing people, and they're like, so like you have claws?" He's like, "No." Like, do you have super speed?" He's like, "No." "Can you climb walls?" Like, "Not really. Like, I'm strong." Like, so
I
like
fly.
they, like I kind of fly.
Yeah.
So it's like tongue in cheek, but it's basically the ruining of your own comic. To be like,
Yeah.
why do?
Oh, that's when he rescues the people from the
Yeah,
I
like
know, yeah.
if the people that he's rescuing don't care about him,
Yeah.
I'm the reader supposed to care about it.
Yeah, he's very bland. He's very bland.
Should call him Vanilla Man. I'd be all over this.
Vanilla
Vanilla latte to save the day.
vanilla ice.
It makes sense living in Nunavut all these
Yeah,
times.
silly ass Canuck.
Bye.